Good morning, folks. We just got a couple more minutes till we get started. So make sure you've got your coffee and your notepads. Good chance to run to the restroom one last time before we get started here in about 4 minutes. So you got about 4 minutes till we get started.
In the office, Sean, huh?
Yes. Yes, sir. How you doing, John?
Good. I don't see a lot of others in there, though.
Oh, they are. We've got kind of some spaces set up, and some you can kind of see it over my right shoulder. We've got some plexi walls set up, and make sure we're keeping desks separate right now. So
Yeah.
it's
I didn't see
not,
Mike.
He's out at a appointment actually this morning. But yeah, we're not back to pre-COVID numbers, but we are ramping back up in preparations for the fall on staffing. It's that time of year, man.
I see Rachel.
Yep, Rachel's here, David's here, Taylor's here. Oh, we got April here, Bill's here. We just got a lot of folks coming in. And it's exciting. It's so encouraging to start seeing folks. I tell you what, it's been lonely these past few months, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's been lonely, and so it's nice to it's nice to see people and hear people's voices. And if you just heard in my microphone, Terry Tuggle's in the house too, so it's good. It's all good.
Good to hear the gang is back together at H&H, sir.
Yes, it is fantastic. It is fantastic. All right, just need to remind myself something here. Damon, what's going on? Just a couple more minutes and we'll get started in just a couple minutes, guys. All right. Just a couple more minutes and we will get started.
I need to I put something up behind me. It's a mess. Mm-hmm.
Stacy, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I still got all my fingers. Didn't blow them up, so we're good there. All right. Just one more minute till we get started, guys. Just one more minute. We'll get started. All right. It is good to see y'all's faces.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, David. How you feeling, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right.
Thanks for your email last week with all the kind of details we're kind of ironing out.
Yeah.
With the fall.
Yeah. We've got to make the most of every moment, don't we?
Yeah. Trying to get
now more than ever. Now more than ever. Wesley Ellis, how are you doing, sir?
Doing fine. How are you today? Did you enjoy
I'm
the
bright-eyed.
Fourth?
I did. I still have all my fingers, so we're good.
That's
there.
Good.
Yeah.
What about your toes?
Yeah, most of them. Most of them.
We're good.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. There's so much to talk about. I'm not sure even where to begin. So let's just start by saying welcome. Thanks for coming. We miss you. It's good to see your faces. We're still here. We're still running. We've got folks in the lab today. We're printing orders and things. So it's great. It's fun. We do these. So if this is your first conversations with the lab, welcome. We're glad you're here. If this is not your first, welcome back. We're also glad you're here. But basically, when we started shutting, when the country started shutting down because of COVID and other things, it affected us all. It affected us all, and not in ideal ways, right? So we just wanted to set up a space where we can still gather together. We can still stay in connection with what's going on across the country. Can hear from photographers about the photography industry, what you're seeing and what we're seeing, and just have that place that we can share that information with one another. And so we've been doing this since then. We get together every couple of weeks, and we talk about various things. And we've talked about the SBA updates, incremental income opportunities, learning new skills, PPE stuff, and just having some time to just kind of see what problems are you encountering and how can we help each other doing that. So with each meeting, we like to start off with an update from the lab on where we are with production and capabilities. So David, do you have a second to give us an update?
Absolutely. Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, we have, I would say most of customer service is back. There's a few that are still working from home, and we have a few design positions still working at home. Production is on their normally managed schedule. As far as summer is, of course, a slow time for the lab, as I'm sure it is for you. So so they're used to working over the summer as needed, and so they're working away in production. We had one person to get COVID-19 probably a month and a half ago, and it was a test of our procedures, and no one else got it, thank God. And so we're going to continue with our procedures of how we enter the building, how we distance, how we clean. Mask procedures, I think, we're tightening up a little bit, but I think it was maybe some grace or mercy, but also I think we are really trying hard to operate in a way so that if one person gets sick, everybody doesn't get sick. And I think the challenge for all of us is to get that right way to live, right? That we have businesses to run, we have to live life, but we want to do it in a way that's smart. And so that's what we're trying to do. And we're communicating with our people. Everybody's in a little different place as far as how they're feeling about all the different things that are going on. So I think we all have to have a little bit of grace for each other as we work through that. So, but our people are doing well. And I'm very thankful that we've been in business for a long time and have the ability to have an emergency fund and a lot of trust with our people and a lot of trust with our customers, and the capacity to get through things like this and come through healthy. So we've continued product development, software development, marketing, and we've continued customer service through this whole time, albeit there's some different schedules and people working in different places, but so far so good. And we're really looking forward to this fall, as all of us are. I think this is haymaking season. And so we're going to pray for rain, and we're going to be here ready to take care of you guys.
Excellent. Thank you, David. Also, quick note, I forgot to say this at the beginning. We will have some group discussion time actually here in just a moment. But when you are not talking, to help reduce some of the distractions and background noise, because we have so many folks on, please mute your microphones until you're about to speak. That will help us keep those distractions at a minimum and keep this conversation productive, because I know your time is precious right now. Also wanted to share that we, as far as service time, production time goes, I saw an update this morning that our school and sports division, we're at 2 to 3 days on service time for getting an order in. I'm seeing a lot of cases a lot faster than that, but the numbers are telling us that it's 2 to 3 days right now, which is right on target with where we want to be at this point. Also, if you do not follow the school and sports year calendar, I would suggest doing that. That's going to be in the business tools section of our website. But this month is a very, very critical month for success, setting yourself up for success this coming fall. So obviously there's a lot of sales opportunities right now with different things happening, different businesses shuttering. There's lots of opportunities for us, and we keep getting reports about that. But now is a big time for readiness. If you're looking at that year-long calendar, we've got over a dozen readiness things that you need to be working on right now, of clearing out last season's projects, looking at what staffing you're going to need this fall, ordering supply items, testing those service items, trying to set those initial picture day dates with your schools as best as they can with you at this point. So lots of things to do this month. So if you would like some guidance on that and want to be more proactive instead of reactive in your preparations for this fall, give us a call and we'll show you where that calendar is, and we can use that, help you use that to your advantage so that you can make the most of these next few months and years. All right, so let's get on to today's topics. So we actually want to cover 3 topics today. The first one is we want to hear from you. What are you hearing from schools and from leagues for this fall? As far as your specific area, what are the schools telling you? We're getting reports from other places on different plans of approach. Some of them are great, some of them are not so great. But what are you hearing for your schools and your leagues this coming fall? So go ahead and unmute your microphone and let us know what you're hearing, what you're experiencing right now. Don't be shy. I won't bite.
In Charleston, South Carolina, we're just kind of waiting to see how things are going. Like, we don't even know if schools are going to return in the fall. So we're just trying to pitch something to the school, like what they're going to want to do with. So that's why we're kind of looking at that idea of like how to bring them down to the camera, how it's going to work with our bigger schools, just kind of doing the contact list. So we're just kind of getting ideas now so that we can bring them up to the school and see what they're going to do, because we're not really sure what the schools are going to want to do and if they're even going to come back in the fall. So everything's just kind of in the air right now.
So you're kind of making a couple different plans of this is best case and this is worst case.
Yeah, like what we can do, and we're just kind of trying to figure out like across the board, this is how we want to do it this fall, and then give that to all of our schools and then see how they want to proceed, if they want to do it that way, if it's even possible. Because the idea of like the event shoot list and them coming down in a certain order, we just kind of worry about that with our bigger schools, like especially our high schools that have, like thousands of kids. And so because normally how we do it is, they come down, they get the camera cards from the table person, come up, but we're just worried if there's like a certain order, and then the photographer is going to have to really pay attention if they come down in a mixed order, and the idea of like the numbers. So we're just kind of brainstorming possible, problems that they could all have.
No, I think that's smart that you go, okay, here's the plan. Now where are the potential gaps? Where could this go awry? I think that's very smart.
Because it's gonna work like well in the smaller schools or with like elementary, but high schools is what we're kind of worried about.
Sure, but also to your point, if you've gone and watched the contactless picture day conversation that we had with Jeff Edwards back in April, one of the things we talked about was the event shoot list, utilizing that as your way of data match. And since then, we've had a lot of great conversations with several studios. One misconception that does keep coming up is the students have to come down in that particular order. And that's not the case. The best practice, if you go back and watch that, Jeff talks about this, the best practice is to write a sequence number next to the names as they come up. Obviously, it's going to be easier to find them if they're in a particular order, some expectation, but writing a sequence number next to that name ensures that if there's an issue with skating, if you're skating on site, that you'd have that sequence that they're photographed in to fall back onto post-shoot match option. So if you'd like to learn more about that, talk more about that, watch that video or give us a call, and we'll be happy to go through that plan with you. But thanks, Ken, for bringing that up, because that is something that not just you've asked, but several other folks have asked as well.
Sean?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? In Ohio,
Bob, what's up?
It looks like the anything that's school related is going to follow school rules, period. But club sports are functioning as if nothing ever happened, to a degree that I've been doing some baseball, and although they don't let the parents sit nearby, it's business as usual. I'm seeing maybe some rumbling that some of the school sports may become illegal club sports in the fall and just become their own thing and splinter off from the high schools and just do it without having the school's blessing. I think kids are going to play, but not necessarily under the Ohio rules.
Okay, so yeah, in Ohio, that's what there's interesting. So there could be an uptick in club and league sports this fall in the Ohio area for folks, since they can't play with the school, they may be playing in clubs and leagues and things.
Exactly. They're going to play somehow.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see that in that area. What else? Where are you at, and what are you hearing in your area from your schools and your leagues?
Actually, this is Floyd up here in Michigan.
Floyd, I like the you trimmed the beard, man.
Yeah,
It looks good.
Get a little lazy lately, but actually our sports might be turned around for the year. They're talking about playing baseball in the fall and football in the spring. They're trying to put all the non-contact sports in the fall, moving some of the contact sports such as football and wrestling to spring.
Okay.
We do have all of our schools scheduled for fall and on the calendar and stuff. We've been working on a few things for social distancing at the schools. We got these little rubber mats that go on the floor. We'll probably end up taking a bunch of those with us, and we'll start lining these 6 foot apart for the kids to stand on as they move towards the camera. We've been using the sticker system at the table, and that's worked really good for us. I know a lot of people use cards, but the stickers have worked out really good. We still are probably going to order envelopes, many of them without dates on them, just in case, because we do have some schools with tentative dates, and we do not have definite start dates for the fall yet from the state of Michigan.
Got it. Yeah, no, I think that's smart, Floyd, to have flyers, first of all, just because of what they do beyond just holding the cash. But I think having them without the dates, and either distributing without dates or having a sticker to put the date on and put that on the envelope I think that's a smart approach. I like that. What else? How about some other parts of the country? What are we hearing in the South?
Well, I'm in San Diego, California, on the coast. So actually the northern part of San Diego, and our district has been really in good communication with the parents, and they're at this point giving parents 2 options, either completely online or completely 100% at school with some distancing. And some parents are up in arms about that because they feel like it's not enough with what they're doing with bringing kids back on campus. So there's a petition going around really trying to get them to offer a hybrid situation. So that's where we're at right now. I do have dates on the calendar for 3 of my elementary schools for fall, so hoping those are going to stick, but we'll see.
Good. Yeah.
Here in central Mississippi, I've got a school district going back to class July 27th. It's really early. We've never done that before. I have 2 other districts that are moving in that August 6th range, which is traditional for us. But it looks like they're doing a 4-day week with 1 day off, and it's made scheduling a little difficult. I've got about half my school scheduled, and the other half are asking me to just kind of hold off and be patient, which is fine. But we seem to be getting started. I start shooting football teams this week, so that's a big move for us. We haven't been that busy, but schools are getting started here, but they do appear to be letting out around Thanksgiving and coming back in January if everything works the way they plan to. Everything kind of changes. That's what we're doing here in Mississippi.
Go ahead.
Well, actually, I'd like to add that we do have several schools that are looking at every other day school options. Kids will go 3 days one week, 2 days the next week, and keep alternating. And that has changed our schedule because we will have to shoot 2 consecutive days at a school that we normally do in one day. So that's going to change our scheduling and number of photographers. But that's what we've heard from several schools here in the state of Michigan.
That's what might happen down here too. They might do like A days and B days. So that's what we're trying to work out with photographers too. If normally one school we can knock out in a day with 3 photographers, if we're going to have to do one school in 1 week. So it's going to be a little problematic if we have to like spread it out so much. And then that takes longer to get pictures back and makeup days by the time that rolls around.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some potential cascading effects with that. But I think it's smart to be willing to work with your schools in that way, and help them understand what to expect because of that. For instance, instead of sending, 3 photographers for one school, you may be sending 1 photographer for each school and drawing that out into a multiple day event. I'm hearing some studios do. And having, photographing instead of 1 school per day, we're actually photographing 3 schools each day and just going back each of those days to get those alternate ABC days situations. But yeah, we're hearing that. We're hearing the other side of, hey, we're going to go and we're going to have school as normal. We'll, make some adjustments, but if you're bringing your kids to school, you understand the risks, and we're all going to do our best until things change at that point. So it's all across the board. Lois, you were trying to jump in. What's going on in Texas?
Yeah, I got a call from a charter school, 700 students, pre-K through, and got to go meet with them and booked them, and they were using Life Touch, and they chatted with them. They haven't been able to get in touch with Life Touch through all the shutdown. They haven't received their class group photos that were photographed right before the shutdown. They also haven't received their yearbook. So I do think that there's going to be some real opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely hearing that the independent business has had way more options than the corporate vertically integrated companies, because you can take the initiative and do awful lot of things that a corporation has hired people to do. So the school business has really started with the independent, and I would not want to be Life Touch during this time. This is I would much rather be an independent, and I'm thankful that's who we pitched our wagon to.
Yes.
So we don't want to squander that opportunity, though, because it has to be us to go out and use that freedom that we have to go and engage with our customers and show them who we are by being available and by caring about them and engaging with them.
David?
Yes, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Good, sir.
I have an idea which I'm just basically started thinking about over the weekend. I want to rally together the local photographers who do school day pictures to together take an approach to the school saying that since COVID, it's important to protect our local community. And here's a list of people who provide this, and keep the business local, and attack this as a group of us, as opposed to us all independently clawing at the door of the schools, and try to take the business away from the national providers and move it back to the independents. This may be our opportunity to seize it again.
Yeah, we're definitely getting reports of studios. There's a lot of schools that have pushed back their graduation to now, and those Life Touch schools that they would ask to photograph the graduation. Life Touch is saying, we don't have anybody to photograph it right now. Our workforce is furloughed. So I'm getting reports of studios that are picking up the graduation and then getting the contract for the following year, because they are available and they are showing how they can effectively operate a photo day while minimizing contact with the individuals they're photographing. It's been fantastic. It's been really encouraging for a lot of folks. So definitely use this as an opportunity to talk to those schools that you haven't had the opportunity of doing business with. This is a great time to do that. For the sake of time, I want to move on to our second topic, and this is going to be more for you all sports photographers out there. One of the things that we are hearing is, how can we do contactless this fall? And in the sports world, a lot of that comes down to how can we photograph a team? If they can't be within 6 feet of each other, it's going to be kind of hard. That's not always the case. We are hearing reports of studios that are able to gather and photograph as a team because they're playing as a team. But we understand there's going to be some situations where that's just not going to be an option. So we've invited a couple of special guests here today to help talk about how can we do virtual teams. That's a kind of the big topic right now is how can we use virtual teams to create that team image, that team photo that parents and players love so much, but do that in a cost-effective and time-effective way. So I'm very excited to announce, to welcome our first guest is Damon from PicSnub. Damon, how's it going, man?
Great, Damon here in South Florida.
How are you doing today?
We're in ground zero, so I'm just kind of hanging out inside.
Is this, yeah, am I seeing the bunker? Is that what this is?
Pretty much. It's my bunker, not my wife's, though. She's going to bring it home to us. I figured that one out already. So.
All right. Got it. So if you are unfamiliar with PicSnub and the PicSnub products and services, you will want to educate yourself on that very quickly. PicSnub.com. There's a whole suite of services and products that I've heard from hundreds of sports photographers that they're using those to help, effectively grow and keep profits up with their business. And one of those particular products I think you want to share with us today is the team builder. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
Awesome. So tell us what the team builder is, and then maybe we can see a preview of that.
I mean, it's more or less just a plugin for Photoshop that automates the process of doing the virtual composites. It's more than just team sports too. A lot of people are using it for graduation photos. I saw you mention that, and that's a big thing it's being used for right now too. I got a little video I made last night I can share. Do I just hit the share screen, or how do I do this?
Yeah, you can now. If you hit share screen, and then as you hit that, at the bottom is two checkboxes, one that says share audio and optimize for video. Make sure both those boxes are checked.
Okay, got both checked, and then just click desktop, I'm assuming.
And yeah, and click the screen that you want to share.
Okay.
So while he's doing that, who here is familiar with PicSnub or uses PicSnub or any of their products? Show of hands. All right, quite a few. That's awesome.
And part of what we think is going to happen here is sometimes you're going to know ahead of time.
Hey, Sean.
Yes,
real
sir.
quick, do you have that link to that video I sent you? It's wanting me to quit Zoom, my Mac preferences. I don't ever use this computer, but it says I don't have access to. So I'll have to quit the meeting and restart it to be able to set the preferences. It might be easier if you just play it.
Sure thing. Let me find that here. Why don't, David, you keep talking for a second while I find that?
You bet. So what we think is going to happen is in some cases you may know ahead of time that you can't do a group picture. But we think there's also going to be a case here or there where you're going to show up expecting to take a team picture, and they're going to say you can't take a team picture, you can take the individuals only. So what we're recommending, one of the reasons we're doing this topic is to just introduce you to a couple of folks that do things that we know these people and we trust these people who you're talking to today. And we're recommending that you engage early and at least have this tool in your toolbox. Get some experience with whether you're going to send it out to have it done or build it yourself. And really try to set aside a little bit of extra buffer time this season in case you get something dumped in your lap where you can do the individual pictures but you can't do the team picture, and that's part of the product you sell and part of what the schools and organizations are going to expect back from you. So it just seems like I'm thankful, much like Zoom and Skype and some of the online learning tools and virtual groups, that these are tools in our toolbox. It wasn't that long ago that none of these things are available. This would be a very different conversation. But these things are here now, and are darn good. So so that's our hope that will come out of this, is you'll prepare ahead of time by starting to ramp up with at least one of these guys, so you're prepared for this fall.
Yeah. Damon, I'm not seeing that link. Can you send that to me one more time real quick?
Yeah, I sent it to you in Facebook.
Ah, thank you. I was looking in my email.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right. Technology. What do you know?
This is my first time on Zoom. I should have been prepared, but
This
I
is
was
great.
not.
I'm glad you're here.
I was not anticipating my Mac locking me out. I don't ever use this computer for anything. So,
All right. All right. I found that video here. Let me pull that up. All right.
I hope it's good. I made it at midnight last night, so
Nice.
I procrastinate.
It was good at the time.
Yeah. All right. Let me share my screen. Computer sound, optimize for video clip. And this is the one. Share. All right. Everybody seeing my screen right now? Okay. We'll go full screen and we will get started here.
Hello everyone, this is Damon with PixNub Software. For this video, I'm going to be demonstrating how you can quickly build a team composite like this in just a few clicks with the Easy Team Builder Photoshop plugin. This is very, very simple to use. The only thing you need is a folder full of cutout images, and there are some settings that you can use to configure how the team builds, and it's really quite flexible. For this, I'm just going to use the defaults with the exception of the player scaling, because they're football images, so I want to reduce that scaling a bit so their shoulder pads don't overlap quite as much. And then with the rows, you can use as many or as few rows as you want, and you can also adjust the number per row. So you have complete control of that. I'm just going to hit continue and we'll watch it build. All right, it finished in 3 minutes and 36 seconds, which is actually about a minute longer than normal, but the screen recording software is slowing it down a bit. And so it looks really good. And what it does by default is it will group the rows by height, and it will place the tallest people in the back and the shortest people in the front. And it also groups the rows and then puts each player into their own layer. And so this makes it really handy. So if you want to move an entire row, for example, and then you can also rearrange individual players if you want to change the position of the players. So very flexible with that. And remember in the beginning of the video when I mentioned that there was some settings you could use to adjust how it builds the team. I have just a few examples here. Let me go to the beginning here. So this is the default, and by default it will decrease the sizes of the rows as you go back just a little bit. And if you look at the perspective scaling off, this is where it doesn't decrease the size per row. We've got max perspective scaling, and this is the maximum amount per row it will decrease as it goes back, and you can go anywhere in between the minimum and the maximum, or you can have it off, or there's 7 different levels of perspective scaling. And in this example, there's more spacing between the players, and this is one of the options that you have. And here is where I adjusted the number per row and just had it build 3 rows, and it automatically fits these onto the canvas for you. So that's one cool thing about it. You don't have to worry about fitting them all on. It will do that for you. And here is 7 rows just by changing the number per row. In this example, there was 2 things I did. The first is I told it to align by face instead of by feet, because you notice the other images are all aligned by the bottom of the feet. But there's also the option to align by face, or you can align between the face and the feet. It's a scale of 0 to 100. So if you align by face, you can see their feet are no longer aligned, but you would use this build if you were going to put graphics in front. And this just gives you a nice clean look where all the faces are the same height. The second thing I did in this example is this did not group by height. I told this to arrange by file name, which is one of the options, and then I named the files by jersey number, which will put them in order by jersey number, left to right, bottom to top, which I know a lot of photographers like to do that. This example, the coaches are on the top, and there's an option to automatically place images to the top by using the word top in the file name. And the same thing here, coaches on the bottom. You can put bottom in the file name. It will automatically force those images to the bottom. Then in this example, there is reduced spacing between rows, so you can see it's a lot more compressed. In the next example, there's increased spacing between rows, so there's a lot more spacing between the rows. And these are just a few examples of things you can configure, and they certainly don't cover all of the adjustments that can be made. Like I say, it's very, very flexible for how this builds. Anyways, thanks for watching, and if you're interested at all in this software, please be sure to visit our website, that is pixnub.com.
All right. So Damon, help me understand what I just saw, man. So this is a Photoshop plugin that I can build a team photo out of individual photos, and looks like you've got different options in there as far as how to configure that. Is that right?
Yeah, because there's different templates that people use to configure their teams differently. So based on your template, once you realize the settings that look best in your template, you just use those same settings for every team in your league, and it will remember those settings. And it's actually pretty easy to use. There's really not much more to it than I showed in those few minutes. It's the main thing is on the photographer side. Well, first you have to have cutout images. It doesn't matter how they were cut out. You could use Pixnub's easy green screen, or you could outsource the extractions to the lab or whatever. It doesn't matter. But the other main thing is on the photographer side that when you're shooting, you don't change the position of your camera or the zoom of your camera or the position of the player. So as long as you set up like that, so the ratios between the players doesn't change in the original images, it's really as easy as just hitting go and it builds the team. There's not really a whole lot to talk about with it. It is what you see there. But you can't put it with any graphics. So it builds the team onto the extracted layers. So you can buy, like Sean DeMitt's got his extreme team that a lot of people use, and there's other graphics companies that sell their graphics as well. So whatever templates you use, it doesn't matter. It's flexible for that.
Yeah, no, I've used the team builder. I've also used your SP8, your SPA, your sports photo automator, to do some custom graphics for an entire team, for a cheerleader team, and the videos I thought you post on your YouTube channel really helped break that down for me. But there's a lot of great stuff. So where can folks go to learn more about this if they're interested?
Just to the pixnub.com website.
So pixnub.com.
Yes.
All right.
Wasn't my first choice of names, but it was 6 letters and 2 syllables. So.
Yeah. 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 No, that's fantastic.
With a .com, that's not easy to do.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. I was wondering if there is a maximum number of players or students you could put on one.
Yeah, there's 12 rows, and each row can do up to 100, so 1,200. And I've actually had people ask me for more. So.
Wow.
Yeah,
like
Andrew Titan
composite or something.
Andrew Titenzor of Southern Idaho, over in Preston, Idaho, home of Napoleon Dynamite. He, I think he shoots the whole town of Preston, but he's asked for more on multiple occasions.
Wow. I wonder what size he's printing that off at.
I don't know, but 1,200 is about the most that I think most people's computers can handle, because you get that many layers in Photoshop, and you have to have a pretty dang good system to be able to handle that.
That's what I'm thinking. Your computer can only take so much.
Is the subscription, is the plugin like a one-time fee, or is it a subscription like monthly? Or?
No, it's a subscription, and I've actually got it priced right now, probably lower than I should, but because of COVID, but it's $15 a month, and that comes with all the products, not just that. So, but if anybody wants to get on the monthly subscription, you probably need to do that this month, because in August, I'm probably going to only have it yearly for August, September, October. I doubt I'm going to sell monthly, because honestly, I don't feel like selling a 1 month subscription for people to do all their school and sports and then quit. So,
hey, you've definitely put a lot of thought and work into these plugins.
Yeah,
Sure.
I got over 1,000 hours into that plugin. So that one was my most time consuming plugin of all. I had to break out the 8th grade algebra for that one.
I'm never going to use this. Never.
That's what I told my teacher. And he says, one day I will. And I never imagined it was for building sports composite images. But
Yes. Oh yeah. That's awesome. So awesome. So Pixnub, pixnub.com if you're interested in that. Sounds like now is a great time to get it on a fantastic deal. But if you are not so thanks, Damon, for joining us and talking with us about that. I really appreciate you being part of this, man. Damon's a great guy if you don't know him. I've had the pleasure of, we've been pen pals via email for a while. And I really think a lot of his products and services, and so do a lot of other sports photographers. But I also know a lot of us are not Photoshop gurus. We're not comfortable in Photoshop. We don't have time for it. A slew of other reasons. So we also wanted to bring in someone else that is an outsource option for you. So who is someone that can do this kind of work for me, that I can just pay them a nominal fee and have them do that for me? And so there's actually, there's a few different companies out there, but there's actually a newer one on the market. Well, he's not a new company, but this is a new service. So I wanted to invite Mr. Ty Fisher to join us today to talk with us about your new service, is it the Team Organizer? Do I got that right?
Team Creator.
Team Creator. Thank you. Team Creator. So, so what's going on, man?
How are you? How's everybody doing today?
We're drinking our coffee, waking up. It'll be there. We'll get there.
Well, thanks for having me on. We've been working, obviously we were shut down for several months as well. We felt the effect of this, and we're still in the reopening process. We've got about 40% of our team back in place. But we knew during this time, one thing that I've always tried to do with Rebuku, we're going on our 9th year of service, and we wanted to be more than an outsourced company to the photography industry. We wanted to be an outsourced partner to photographers. I owned 2 studios for 10 years and shot sports volume photography for about 5. And I didn't just want to come in and provide a service and then not start to listen to clients and provide options that weren't available. So we've continued to evolve our services through the years. And obviously with COVID, social distancing, and everything that's happening now, we worked diligently during our shutdown to put the Team Creator services together. This is basically hands-free compositing through Rebuku.com, if you're familiar with us. And Sean, could I share my screen as well, sir?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Okay, thank you. All right, can everybody see this?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what this is basically a secondary option. Damon has great softwares. A lot of our customers use it, and when they have the time to do that work, those are the go-to software. For those of you that maybe are looking to get it off your hands, we've provided you a Team Creator at Rebuku.com. And basically what's going to happen, I'm going to come down and just go ahead and get into the pricing. For those that aren't familiar with us, we have 2 available options in our extraction services, and we've carried this over into our Team Creator. We have a premium extraction services, which is for people that are printing 11 by 14 and larger. And that generally runs $1.50 per 1 to 2 people per image. And we have a volume extraction, which is for our volume photographers that are printing 11 by 14 and smaller. Most of you are printing memory mates, team pictures, buttons, et cetera, et cetera. And our extraction price there is 85 cents per 1 to 2 people. So what we've done is we've basically come up with this service and added an additional 35 cents per person to do the full composite of the team. So what's going to happen is you're going to pay $1.20 per person. You'll upload your images. Right now, in about 2 to 3 business days, because we are running behind, we're going to provide you a proof of that team build. You can make revisions, you can approve it. If you approve it, you get your download link within 5 to 10 minutes. If you have changes, we turn those around within about 24 hours, unless it's on a priority and you're in a pinch, we'll try to get it out to you that same day. We can also add drop shadows and reflections, kind of like you see in this first picture. We've got the drop shadow added to give it that non-floating look. It helps burn down the legs a little bit and grounds them. Or we can add reflections if you're doing more of a wood floor and gloss, or we can add both. For $4.50, we'll add drop shadows and reflections for the entire team. So I want to make sure you understand this is not a per person cost on the drop shadow and reflection. This is per team. So you're looking at $1.20 a person, $2.50 per team. If you were doing a volume team build cost, a team of 10 with drop shadow or reflection will cost you $14.50. And a team of 20 will cost you $26.50. Over on the premium side, a team of 10 will cost you $21. That's with your drop shadow and reflection. And a team of 20 would cost you $39.50. And this is all hands-free. Once you've uploaded the images, we go to work. You go on with your day doing what you need to do, and we'll take care of the rest. And that's pretty well the synopsis of our team creator. Is there any questions I could answer or help anyone with in understanding this product?
I think we're still processing.
Okay. I know I spoke a little quick.
No, you're doing, that was great. I mean, there's not a lot to it. It's, hey, here's my folder of images and let me see my team. So
right, and that's how we wanted to keep it. We wanted to simplify this down as much as possible. Now, currently, when you're placing your orders, this is one team per order, but we will have out in the next 2 months a bulk creator where you're going to be able to just tell us how many players. You'll provide us a Dropbox link or WeTransfer link or Google Drive link of your folders. You pay for your players. We'll organize that, get you the proofs of all the teams, and go on from there. So it's going to be a simplified process so you don't have to place one order per team.
Nice. Oh, we did get one question as I'm turning off your screen share here. What is your goal? What's your intended expectation for turnaround time this fall? And I know even saying that, none of us really know what this fall is going to look like. So what's the best guess you can give us at this point, I guess, is what we're asking.
Best guess is my goal would always be 1 to 2 business days. That's what our company's defined on. But for me to sit here and tell you I can provide that, I can't. We are still fluid with COVID-19 as well. My offices are in hot zones. My offices could get shut down in 2 weeks. I don't know. I've never been in a pandemic before, unfortunately. So my goal, 1 to 2 business days. We're working hard we're honestly delayed maybe 2 days right now. But I do believe as photographers, it is time for us to step out and educate our clients as well and letting them know that everything is going to take a little bit longer because people are not back to full production in any way, shape, or form, any restaurant, bar, tavern, manufacturing facility. So it's a trickle-down effect, and we have to be forthright with our customers when we're out there shooting as well.
Yes, we need to proactively help them understand what to expect.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't agree with that more. I cannot agree. So Ty, where can we go to learn more about this, man?
Rebooku.com, REBOOKU.com. And if you hover over services, you will select Team Creator. And for those that are curious, because I get this question all the time, what does Rebooku mean?
Yes.
Retouch and books for you. Our first 2 services we ever launched was retouch and book design. So there you go.
Clever.
Very
clever. I like it.
Sauce.
So Ty, I do have a follow-up question. I think Damon already said this, but one of the other questions we have for follow-up is, could we do this? Does it have to be a sports team? Could it be a school group if we had to do it?
Great question. Yeah, no, it can be a school, it can be offices. We've got people using it for dental offices, lawyers' offices, etc. There's a lot of corporate updating going on right now, and they have to social distance as well. So we're building corporate teams. So this can be used for anything that you need to compile from a multiple amount of images into one.
Nice. And
Except
I know
we're getting into dogs and stuff like that. That's a whole different conversation.
create the pack. Create
Yes.
the pack.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Damon
sound like
said-
a real. Oh, can I have a good question, Sean?
Sure, real quick. What's up?
I'm gonna sound like a real dummy here. But I assume with both of these services, it starts with shooting your subject screen, right? There's no.
Thank you. Thank you for that question.
Okay.
I'll answer first. Damon, jump in after me, please. With me, it's any solid or environmental background. It does not have to be green screen. It can be green, gray, white, black, turquoise, purple. It can be an environmental background. The price doesn't change.
And then, Damon, if you want to unmute yourself, I unmuted you a little bit ago. Not there yet, sir. I think Damon said earlier in his presentation that he does have a green screen plugin option, a green screen remove option, but you don't have to use that service. You can use any knockout service and use that that team builder after that. All right, we're still having some technical difficulties with him.
Just a quick.
What's up?
Ty, is there any way that you could give us an example, or if you have a picture of a school group, is there any way that you could maybe post that, even if you don't have one right now, which I understand you may not? Is there any way you would be able to just post that so that we could show maybe the schools that we'll be doing in the fall?
That's a good question. And currently we haven't gotten any school requests. Noel, if you want to send me some example images, I'd be happy to build one for you. You know my email.
Okay. Would they need to be full length though, I'm assuming?
It's totally up to you. It can be 3/4, but it looks better full length with the drop shadows, etc.
Okay, can somebody else offer to do that? Because I had all my kids sit last year, and and most of the time they have been. So since I don't do a lot of schools.
Yeah, we probably can come up with a full-length spring program from SCA that we have copyright releases for, that we could send to Ty, and that way everyone could use those images.
Yeah, we can release that back to H&H. We'd be happy to do that.
You.
Sure. Let me
Thank
make a
you.
note.
That would be really
Hey, Sean, can you hear me now? Did I fix my?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Hey, I'm going to answer the question now that I can program face detection algorithms, but I can't figure out this Zoom thing.
One button.
We're all practicing.
So with the PixNub, yeah, what Sean was saying is correct. The images going into the Easy Team Builder have to be extracted ahead of time. How you extract them doesn't matter. PixNub has a green screen extraction and also a white screen extraction. PixNub does not have a product for extracting off of trees and other things. That's where you either do it yourself in Photoshop or send it out to a service like Rebuku. But however you get those extracted, once they're done, those go into the Team Builder software or also the sports photo automation individual compositor. They work the same. So hope that answers the questions.
So for PixNub, so like white last to light you can do, and would that be part of the subscription that also does the Team Builder?
Yes, there's 9 plugins with the subscription. The white extraction software is part of that. With Easy Green Screen, it's a little more automated. It's pretty much a walk away batch if you shoot well. With the white screen, depends on if you're doing feed or not, but 30 seconds up to maybe a minute and a half per image, I guess would be the range I would give, depending on how fast you are in your images. And there is a batch processor, but it's not walk away. You kind of help it along and then it saves and opens the next image when you're done with one. So just depends on whether you want to do a little bit of work or not.
Right. Sure.
And in general, white screen is going to give a cleaner sports image if there's reflective props. So be really careful of green screen with sports. You get helmets, you get bats, things like that have reflective surfaces, it can ruin your afternoon in Photoshop.
Yeah, agreed. And one thing I'll point out, since you mentioned that, if you reduce the size of your screen and reduce the size of the floor so you're not bouncing green light onto the front of their legs, so stand them just an inch or two behind, green screen can be a lot more automatable. And with the PixNub Easy Green Screen program, it can actually erase outside of those areas of the screen, so you don't need to cover the camera frame with green. There's an auto clear feature just for that purpose. So just,
I'm gonna have to go back and play with that.
Yeah, go check out the videos. That came out last year, so that's one of the more popular features with the Easy Green Screen.
Very cool. Hey, we are running a little behind on time, and I want to be sensitive to everyone's time. So I'm sure we got lots more questions. Guys, Ty, Damon, thank you. Thank you for investing in services and products like this, and being available today so that independent school and sports photographers can have successful picture days this fall, no matter what type of restrictions are placed on those situations. Thank you guys so much for investing that in this industry. I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I really do. If you do want to learn more about that, guys, if you'll put your contact email that you'd like them to use, if they have any more questions, they can reach out to you on those email addresses. We'll have you guys reach out that way, and you guys can continue those conversations, or just visit their website, Robuku.com and Pixnub.com. But there's one other thing that I'm also really excited to talk about, and this is going to flip back. So we were just talking about sports. Now let's talk about schools a little bit more. So with schools, we've also been working on something. So not just how do I build the team photos or group photos is a potential problem for this fall, but another one is labor force. With how many people should I hire? How long until things get shut down? How can I quickly get through my picture days and move on to the next one is another problem that folks are trying to solve. And so this is actually a service that we've been developing before COVID even happened. And if you, when we used to go outside, this thing, outside our houses and our businesses, we went to SPAC conference and demoed this service at SPAC. If you were there, you had the pleasure of seeing that. But if you didn't, then you're going to get to see it today. And so basically the idea is, at H&H, we know that you want to grow a successful school photography business. But in order to do that, you've got to take, a photo every 30 seconds and get paid for it. But in processing those thousands of photos can take up precious time that keeps you from photographing more, which, can make you feel nervous about going on and taking more work. So at H&H, we believe you shouldn't have to waste your time doing something that isn't actually going to help you grow your business. And so we understand that a specific area of that is cropping. That we understand that cropping can be one of the most time-consuming post-processing tasks, especially if you're inconsistent in how you photograph. So we have made a service to make that process simple. And the service is called Magic Crop. And so here's how we do it. You import your images into HH Schools, upload to have your faces analyzed, let our AI magically crop the images for you while you work on the rest of the project. Then when it's done, you get to review, and when the analysis is complete, you get to review those images, make any minor adjustments you want to make, and then send the order off and move on to the next thing. So I've asked David to demo that for us. This is I've been working on a lot of projects, and David's been working on a lot of projects. This is definitely something I think is near and dear to David's heart. So I felt like it would be good to have him demo this particular feature and preview this to you guys today. So David, take it away, man.
Okay, let me know, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so those of you who are using HH Schools, this is a familiar screen to you. This is where you're inputting your images. So I'm going to take some images, and thank Shannon Surratt for letting me use some of her images for this demo. So I'm just importing images into HH Schools. And what you are seeing here is just the normal process. But I actually have another feature turned on where I can analyze faces. And this is step one of the artificial intelligence engine that we're using. And I'm going to choose one of these kids here as my target. So what you're doing is you're choosing a target image, and you can use the head and chin lines, but those aren't actually affecting the software. All you're doing is choosing the head position. And so then it will start analyzing behind the scenes, and I can still work in the software by adding into the data fields if you don't have data already filled out. What's happening behind the scenes is it's uploading to the cloud. This is our engine where we've trained artificial intelligence with about 80,000 images so far. And I have my machine turned on to continue training the AI, but that won't be normal things. So you're going to see some messages that are unusual, and for me, but you won't normally see those. So you'll be able to scroll through and crop. Scroll through and look at the images. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick screen grab here of these different images so that we can see a before and after. And then I'll minimize that so you can see that after. So what's happening is it's uploading the images and then it's analyzing them. And then when it's done, as I said before, you can still be working in the software, but when it's done, you hit Magic Crop. And then it is not intended to eliminate cropping. So I want to be clear with that. It won't eliminate it. But if you look at how it's cropping these, you notice this little girl right here. I probably want to make her a little bit smaller. This one it couldn't do, and it marked with a red X, and the reason is it didn't have enough lateral position. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit larger, and it still can't get it all the way over there, even when I zoom in a little bit. You can see how that works.
So that one was shot a little too tight. Is that what you're saying, David?
Yeah, it was shot a little off center if you look back at the original image, but at least mark that for you so you know. And so all I did is adjust the one on that one. It doesn't mean that it's perfect yet, and you'll see these change in a second, but it should be awfully close. And so it says you've completed cropping. I have the machine learning training mode turned on. I'm going to say no, I don't want to send any, but this is the after Magic Crop. I only adjusted the one with the red X on there, and so you can see what it started with and how it's ending right there. So we'll scroll through. There may be a couple others that I might adjust also, probably the teacher a little bit, but that's the idea of what's happening with Magic Crop. Our goal with this is that you'll be able to reduce your cropping time by half or more. And so what you do is you'll buy a bucket of images and then consume those as you use those for your account. And our goal is that it does two things. First, the obvious thing is it reduces the time that you're working processing orders, working up orders. The second thing is it gives you time during the bottleneck time of year, but you're not paying for it. You're not paying for having an employee around at times where there's plenty to do around there. You can choose which projects you want to use this for. This is trained mostly for Head and Shoulders right now. We started training it in spring for 3/4 length and half length, and then spring went away. So we're going to be working on that this fall of training that, so we'll be ready for more of the spring half length. So just a quick overview there, just had a couple of minutes. We will be hardening this the next couple of weeks. There's a few things that we found that I want to change how it's working. Am I stopped sharing yet?
Yes.
Okay, very good. That I want to change. It'll give you a little more flexibility, like being able to exit projects and go back in and have this work behind the scenes and so on. But we expect this to be in your hands with a license key in the next week and a half or so.
Yeah. So before July is up.
So the question, one of the questions is there a cost and how much? Yes, there is a cost. Sean, do you have those handy?
Yeah, so I just posted a link in the chat where you can actually go and pre-order credits right now, or at least see the pricing. It's going to be a tiered pricing based off the number of credits, and 1 credit equals 1 image. But just to give you a ballpark, we're shooting at about $9–10 a school is the target to crop all of these images. So check out.
Yeah, do the math on it. And what I would encourage you to do is take a school and time yourself. When we've talked about this, a lot of people have a vague idea, but they really haven't run a stopwatch. As with all of our technology, this is going to be a progression and a conversation with you guys. We want feedback on this. We want this to be something that you feel great about using because it saves you time. This has been about 2.5 years in development. But we know that this is, we're going to learn with you and get your feedback on it. So we want to know what's working, what's not working as you're using it, and if it's a real value to you. So keep talking to us.
Yeah. Hey, David, Lois had a question. She says, will OES be using this on our managed projects this fall, and will the fees apply through OES? For those of you guys that don't know, OES is our order service, where we can do, for a fee, we can do the order entry and HH for you. And so for those customers that are planning on using OES this fall, what should they expect at this point?
Yeah, OES is a customer of Magic Crop. So internally, I wanted to put the same pressure on us that we put on you. So this won't be an additional charge for OES. It is included. Cropping is just a service we do. And what I've told, what I've asked our managers and folks in that area is, if it's not good enough for them to buy from you, then I don't want them to buy it from you. So they have the same pressure of making the decision on the labor as you guys do. So they'll be using it, but there'll be no additional charge. Because at the end of the day, what you're buying in OES is the completed cropping service, not necessarily how we do it.
Yep. Good question. Good question, Lois. Any other magic cropping questions? Nobody. Bueller. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. We're still processing. What I would at least encourage you to do is click on that link, bookmark it, follow up with that later. Obviously, we're super excited. After 2.5 years of work, we're super excited to be able to share this with you. So be looking for posts and emails from us on this particular topic. And you know how to get a hold of us if you do have any questions. Customer service at HH Color Lab, or 800-821-1305. We'd love to talk with you about that. So it sounds like school is in session. So we're going to wrap up here at this point. We will have another one of these probably towards the next couple of weeks. We are working on another feature to help you make the most of this fall. That we're hoping to release this summer by the beginning of August. So I'd like to give you guys a sneak preview of that as well, to help you learn more about that, so you can make the most of it this fall. So as always, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for being here. Please continue to stay in community, stay in touch with us. Let us know how we can help you compete and grow this fall, and stay part of that HH Schools Users Group community. It's a great community of folks that will also are here to help you as well. So that being said, thank you guys for your time. Have a good day, and go get them. Talk to you later, guys.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you.
Bye.